Hu panet room menunut shayu kawuna lul bihu. Pa istaf pa. Anuki fi pa ashuk shil kulum wa kul kalun ashuk fini. Anuki farogun shil kulum wa kul kalun farogun shil ni. Anuki wahed ka kulum wa kul kalun wahed ka ni. Nuk aikilu anji hu kama farugun shil kulum wa kub kama fariyudun. Nuk aikilu akwenu kuldek nuk akfuzi fi kulum kama taul kama kafuzi kanun liya amidu fi kulum. Anuki kabaha wahud. Kulum kalun anuki. Kulum yakul nuk aikilu. Kulum dora nuk abmilu. Amen. Pa kulum. Pa ashutat shil asaru. Nuk tao fogmin antuten ya enosat. Anuki tem li pata. Anuki li pali ul. Nuk halag tu pa li ulat. Nuk gabal tu pa li ulat ama bikun. Anuki pa mahoy shil necheru. Pa re shil necheru. Pa mustarasil shil necheru. Anuki fi pana wo shil re. Pana wo shil re kalunda kulni. Anuki hayuzina zuf. Let's go. Rahubat to the tribe worldwide. Guys, it's time for us to become gods and goddesses. Elohims if you're in that Hebrew Amharic. Shalom. To all my Hebrew, Israelite, Judean, Yahudi brothers and sisters. If you're speaking in the Arabic, yeah, yo, salam alaikum to you, to all my true Muslim brothers and sisters, yeah, and Hotep, to all the rest of you out there, wherever you may find yourself on this day, the 27th, let's go. I want to speak about this, yeah? This bust off this prayer here, yeah? Let's bust this off right now. Y'all can read it with me while I'm reading it for you guys. Read it with me, yeah? Even in your mind, if you're driving or whatever. Let's go. Bar Kalum. Amun Ra. I came to earth through the sacred city of Napata in Kush, Africa. I am love. I am inner peace. I am the one. I am perfection. The supreme being. The all. The universe. The life force. The creator. The unseen. The seen. The omniscient. The soul power. The liberator. I live through the African. Kushite 25th Dynasty statue of Amun Ra, Ashmolean Museum, Oxford. Okay, so we can get rid of that Bible God and see where they stole all our concepts from and twisted it into the bigot. Yeah, so we can throw that Bible God or that scriptural Abrahamic God in the bin and say amen. Revelation 3 verse 14. Okay, yeah, let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Because it's nothing but the black God right now. No excuses will do at all. Yeah? This is what we say. No excuses will do at all. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the Dragons Den. Shout out to all my people in Wadadley on this production here. So these concepts are very, very important for us to step into our God self. It's very important for us to arm ourselves with the correct kit. So first and foremost, we need the holy tablets. We need the holy tablets so that we can have a reference book. You understand what I'm saying? When we refer into certain bits, and because remember, it's more misinformation out here than information. We're drowning in misinformation. We've just come out of the age of misinformation. There's still a lot of misinformation mixed up with the facts. So we have to have certain tools to be able to separate the truth from the falsehood, or the facts from the beliefs. So first, invest in a holy tablets. Even if you have to buy it, it's like £1,500 on eBay. Most of us ain't going to be able to afford that. So what we should do is look for the PDF version, or the version you can read online. If I come across it again, I will post it, because what they do is they kill the links after a while. When they see people build up and come to the knowledge, they pull the plug and kill the link. So the one that I had, the link's killed. You also need the Emerald tablets. You need the Emerald tablets of Jehuti. I always refer people to Dennis William Hauck as the first point of reference for the Emerald tablets, because it's like an explanation of it. It's not actually the Emerald tablet per se, it's an explanation of it. So it's a stepping stone into the whole concept of hermeticism, which is where you want to be, and leave all the religion alone. So you need the Emerald tablets, and to go side with that Dennis William Hauck Emerald tablets, alchemy for personal transformation, you also need the Kybalion, the one by the 3 initiates. Just get the Kybalion by the 3 initiates. Get one of them. So the holy tablets, the Emerald tablets, and the Kybalion. Them 3 tools is the tools that Jedefre advises you to have stepping forward. You get me? So these spiritual sciences, we started touching on them, yeah, last night when I gave you the Kwanzaa special, yeah. We read out a few of them. I want to read this one out because I don't think I got it in. This is from Suten Senroset, yeah, or Sesostris, if you want to speak the Greek. Sesostris, yeah. Senroset the second. So he's from the Middle Kingdom, when you're talking 11th and 12th dynasties, Middle Kingdom. You have Senroset first, Senroset second, Senroset third. And Senroset first is the one who marched all his soldiers all the way up to Russia, southern Russia, Georgia and shit then, and became the Colchians. So Herodotus spoke about these in his book, The Histories. He said, yo, these niggas got nappy hair, nigger nose, nigger lips, yeah? They said that they come from Sesostris' army. So he left a contingent of his army out there in southern Russia, Georgia, to keep the Neanderthals or the Muzungu in the mountains. And they became what's called Colchis, or the first Russians. Colchis, man. People don't know this. I've got this in Dredges in the Sand. People are going to soon realize how vital these jewels was all the time that I've been giving people. So this is Suten Sesostris. It might be the Sesostris the first who left the army there. I'm not sure if it was Sesostris the second or Sesostris the third. I want to say it's Sesostris the first, but anyway, this is the same dynasty of pharaohs that did that and was responsible for Colchis. And Herodotus, the father of histories, classical Greek writer, he wrote about these guys, you understand, and said they're niggers. And they said for themselves, we are an offshoot of Sesostris' army. We stayed out here. You understand what I'm saying? So Colchis, so when you see all them Black Russian stuff, I keep referring people all the way back to Colchis, before the Black Russian Tsars and all that. Where do you think they come from? So anyway, let's read this from the house of Senroset, yeah? In Cushitic, Kemetic, hold on. Barkalum. In Kushite, Kemetic spiritual science, it is taught that the African is a Necha, a god, or an Elohim in Aramaic Hebrew. However, it is not saying that you are born a god. You have to become a god. It is in the same way that a seed is potentially a tree, but it cannot call itself a tree until it has dug itself deep into the rich soil of the earth to eat of its nutrients and absorb the rainwater from heaven, and thereby becoming a tree. In this same way, the African is potentially a god, but only if he or she develops himself or herself into one. You get me? Senreset II, 1800 BC. Become Asar or Aset, God dwelling in man or woman. Yeah, I want to go through this because I had it on the screen for y'all to read yourself on the Kwanzaa Live. But I just want to reiterate this, yeah, because it's so simplistic. Yo, our stuff in Kemet is not complicated like how you see religion is overcomplicated and stuff. It's so simple but effective. And there's such beauty in simplicity like the Book of Tarhotep. You know what I'm saying? So let's go. Yeah. The greatest sin, fear. The best day, today. The biggest fool, the person who will not go to school. The best town, where you succeed. Yeah. The most agreeable companion, one who would not have you any different than what you are. The great bore, one who does not come to the point. A still greater bore, one who keeps on talking after he has made his point. The greatest deceiver, one who deceives himself. The greatest invention of the devil, war. The greatest secret of production, saving waste. The best work, what you like. The greatest comfort, what you like. No, the greatest comfort, the knowledge that you live, that you have done your work well. That's the greatest comfort. The greatest mistake, giving up. The most expensive indulgent, hate. The cheapest, stupidest and easiest thing, finding fault. The greatest troublemaker, one who talks too much. The most ridiculous asset, pride. The worst bankrupt, the soul that has lost its enthusiasm. The cleverest person, one who always does what he or she thinks is right. The most dangerous person, the liar. The most disagreeable person, the complainer. The best teacher, one who make you want to learn. Want to learn. The manifest feeling of which any human being is capable, feeling bad at another success. Teachers, yeah? What's that for? The meanest feeling of which any human being is capable is feeling bad at another success. Yeah, okay. The greatest need, common sense. Wow, that was powerful, right? That was powerful, guys. Definitely. So all these things, we need to study them to come back into our God self. Yeah, to come back into our God self, we need to study our ancient teachings that were carved 6 inches into the stone, the hardest rocks, stones on the planet, diorite stone and that, just so we can come back to our godness, our divinity. You know what I'm saying? Come.
Can I have a bit of smoke, son? I want to get some money. Cash it's not working.
So yeah, guys, as you can see, art imitates life and life imitates art, right? That's what we say. Okay, so this here, shout out to Zombie Apocalypse, yeah? Because I'm about to show you something. Zombie Apocalypse posted this on his Instagram. His page is one of my favorite pages, so I'm just going to read this off his Instagram for you guys, yeah? Because my man's page is deep, and if you are on Instagram, be sure to go and follow Zombie Apocalypse 2030. He's got some good, precise information on his page. He's a humble brother. Shout out to him. I like to build and back and forth with him, so I'm going to read this off his page. And it goes like this. Zombie Apocalypse 2030. Earth still is an alien prison quarantined from the rest of the universe and multiverse, so that this negative energy of ignorance here does not seep out and infect the other universes and multiverses. So we're still on quarantine, so we don't affect nowhere else, this realm here. We are not allowed to build ships to intergalactically travel again, nor are we allowed to use our bodies to intergalactically travel again, but only in our dreams. We are all aliens imprisoned here in our genetically modified clone bodies, where glands have been removed to cut off our psychic powers, and end caps called telomeres have been placed on our chromosomes at the end of our chromosomes, so that we cannot live forever in an ignorant, ignore the facts, state and ignore reality. We can no longer access the deities at random, nor regenerate or regrow our own limbs anymore when they are severed. Our vices and desires and attachments for the things and people of this world keep us trapped here in a state of ignorance and reincarnation after reincarnation until we get it right. We have been assigned to Earth as a school and as a prison planet with other aliens who are trapped here forever, until we learn to reject and overcome the vices and devices of this very wicked reptilian alien entity in whichever form they manifest here. And when we die, our spirits and souls remain trapped in this here Earth's atmosphere, unable to ascend to higher realms as long as we remain in ignorance, quote unquote, ignoring the facts. That was very deep from Zombie Apocalypse. Like I said, go and follow his page, man. My man's page is serious, man. You know what I'm saying? Serious information right there. Kwanzaa. Remember your commitments to Kwanzaa, your commitments to yourself. Use it as a springboard to go back and fetch even more ancient stuff. Because we know Kwanzaa was made after slavery, made by us in the West here, and it's good still. But we need to use it to springboard and go backwards and go and fetch the stuff from our West African culture, from our South African culture, from our native Amaru Khan culture, from our Caribbean cultures, all of our indigenous cultures, from the Indus Valley, Australia, everywhere, even in China and stuff, Palestine, everything. You know what I'm saying? And yo, I wanted to speak about Eve the last time, yeah, but I was on a roll, yeah? And I was saying, even though I mentioned it briefly, this should not be acceptable for us brothers as well. That means we failing these sisters, man. If they feel so insecure that they had to run off with one of these. This looks like Pete. Oi, Pete, down the pub. You know, Pete. You know, I mean, so what if he's a millionaire or if he's got houses or cars or whatever? This is not supposed to happen, man. The corruption of our DNA like this. We're failing, guys, and we need to stand up in our power. You see me doing this is me standing up in my power. I am Jedefre Memnon, and I was there, which is here, now. Look, that's taking the piss, bruv. Like, oi. And then you see these movies here that Hollywood keep giving us to give us this fake culture and tell us that, yo, this is what it means to be black. This ain't got nothing to do with black culture. This is the culture that they gave us to convince us that this is what we're about and this is how we should style ourselves. Look at these idiots, Snoop Dogg and Tyrese, two sellouts. But they keep giving us these movies, man. Hollywood, the machine, and they create this atmosphere, this mentality for us. This is how guys should be. This is how guys should act. This is what's cool. This is what's not cool. This is what's trendy. This is what's not trendy. They do it for the guys and they do it for the girls. You understand? And make us into something that we're not. We're not these guys like Vin Rhames. I like his acting, but he plays gay people too. Like this Hollywood machine is the devil. Is the flamboyance of Satan. Straight up. Keep giving us these bullshit movies, and they're good movies. I'm not saying they're not good movies. I love Friday. That's one of my favorite movies, but behind it, the agenda behind it, that they only ever push black man in this stupid image. We're always stupid, or the hustler, or the drug dealer, or the player, or they're never gonna put us in a role where we're leading a role in a big Hollywood franchise, unless it's something like Black Panther, which is more like a Marvel thing. I'm just talking about just because, like, the story of fucking Sesostris leaving his army, they ain't gonna give you the real jewels. Shout out to Nefertari, Ames Nefertari, one of the most celebrated women in the whole of Kemetian history. She was deified. I named my daughter Akasha Nefertari, and the Nefertari, some people might think it comes from Pharaoh Ramesses' Nefertari. That's a different Nefertari. That's Nefertari like the Bari el-Mut II. Yeah, I'm talking about this Nefertari. Yeah, the wife of Amos, the first Moses, or I should say the second, because Chamos, his brother, came before him. Chamos and Amos. Amos married Amos Nefertari, so she's the wife of Amos. That's why she's called Amos or Ames Nefertari. Yeah, Nefertari Bari el-Mut. That's later on. That's Ramesses' wife. You understand what I'm saying? Ramesses II. But when you're talking about Ames Nefertari, yeah, that's who I named my daughter Akasha after. She is the most celebrated queen in the whole of Egyptian history. Forget about Queen T. When we think Queen T is deified sitting next to Memnon, Amenhotep III. Yes, she is, but not more than Ames Nefertari. Why is she deified? Because her and her husband are the ones that kicked out these bitch-ass Jews out the country. They kicked out the Hyksos. After 400 years of them being there and keeping us in fucking bondage and doing all kind of debauchery and inhumanities, this was the family that said, yo, enough is enough. We're going to fight them. And the older brother, Chamos, he beat them in a battle. For the first time in 400 years, he beat them in a battle, but he never pushed them out of the country. He just beat them and dealt them a wicked blow. And whatever happened in that battle, he lost his life. He died before he could see it through, died early. He never even reached old age. And they don't say how he died. I've searched for the answer for time, but I've never came across, how did he die? My feeling is maybe he got wounded in the battle, because they had to break down the fortress in Memphis, so they had to come on the water and stuff. Yo, it's a mad thing. Yo, invest in the book Treasures in the Sun, and you can get all the details of these beautiful stories. But obviously you can see how passionate I am about this and why you should be so passionate about this. They had us as slave for 400 years. This is the woman that freed us, man. You understand what I'm saying? And others like Amos's mother, Ahotep, yeah? Them two there, they don't get spoken about enough. We speak about Cleopatra, we speak about Nefertiti, we speak about Nefertari, the second Nefertari, Ramesses' wife. They are small fries, no disrespect to them. They are small fries when you're talking about this woman that you're staring at right now. And look at her skin and her colour. That's why they don't want you to know this shit here. That's how she fucking looks. Yeah, before they go over there and retouch it and try and repaint the thing to make it look like some Arab. That's how Ames Nefertari looked. Do you understand? And she's the most celebrated. She was deified. They seen her as a goddess. You understand? They kick some ass, some Hyksos ass, some Ashkenazim ass, and kick them the fuck back out the country. You understand? You can't live here no more. Allow it. They could have just left it at that. Well, we beat them in a war. They know not to mess around with us. Nah. They kicked these niggas out the country, man. You understand what I'm saying? They kicked them out the country, and with that being said, I gotta read you their story, man. It's that peak. I'm gonna take a break to read you their story. I'm glad I'm sat down with Treasures in the Sun in my hand, because this is like the dictionary for this shit what we're talking about here. People need to understand. So I might as well speak about them. Yeah, and this is section 2, page 299, yeah? And it says, the breakdown of the pharaonic state snowballed into the 13th dynasty and persisted through to the 17th dynasty in the 1500s BC. So keeping to the topic, we would pick up the theme of the great Sutenat, the rulers, with Suten Sekenenre Tau and the formidable Kendake Ahotep. After the rise of the Hyksos, northern threat in the delta centered on avarice after the 12th dynasty, the Kemetian capital was once again relocated. It was eventually moved to Thebes in the south, where the Wassetians once again waxed strong enough to initiate a great war of attrition with the servants of the serpent called Hekakasut, or shepherd kings, Hyksos. These Neanderthals had shed enough blood, disrespected the Kushite culture, and desecrated the land, and our ancestors decided to take a stand to bring liberation to the land and its people once again. Pharaoh Sekenenre, Kamos, Amos, and Queen Ahotep, the Unbreakables. The delta city of Hutwaret, Avaris, was founded on the eastern branch of the Nile by the Sekem, great power of power. That's what Sekem means. That's another name for Pharaoh or Suten, great power of power, life. Sekem, yeah. Amenemhet, yeah. Amenemhet the First. It was located inland, but near enough to the sea to act as a harbour, and had overland routes into the Sinai. When the Asiatics infiltrated the area and the 13th dynasty moved south back to Thebes, the Indo-Aryan Asiatics took over the city and developed it into a fortress or citadel of massive proportions, 50,000 square meters large, on 12.35 acres of land. The pretender king, Nehisi, of the 14th dynasty, used it as his capital in the north before the Hyksos serpents set up house there too. Avaris and the northern kingdom of the Hyksos stretched to Memphis and Middle Egypt at its zenith. So at its peak, it stretched all the way down to Middle Egypt, yeah, and traded with the rest of Egypt, the eastern Mediterranean, and Kerma kingdom in Nubia, yeah. Avaris was impressively wealthy, as can be witnessed from Sutenkamos's accounts of when he raided the city and looted many riches and booty. It was a formidable stronghold which gave the Kushites from Thebes many problems to overcome. It was a constant headache and a thorn in the side of the 17th dynasty especially. The city had thick brick walls built up around it and bastions, and it was constructed in the most strategic of positions to defend against attacks from the south. So we just couldn't penetrate these, man. They set up themselves to just, for a time it was almost tolerable until Avaris started to compete and threatened to invade Thebes. These colonizers developed a hybrid culture. So these Jews developed a hybrid culture, merging Asiatic and Kemetian elements and traditions which appalled and insulted the native Kemetian Kushites, the ancestors. They used hieroglyphs and mocked the very tradition of the house of Pharaoh, even taking on Kemetian Egyptian names and claiming themselves as pharaohs. So Suten Sekenenre Tau, the martyr, and those that died so we could live. Quote unquote, you must embrace yourself. Only then can you unlock the doors to your full potential. When you embrace who you are, as did the great rulers. End of quote. 4. One person with courage is a majority. Courage is fear that has said its prayers. Karl Barth, Swiss theologian. Quote, courage is doing what you are afraid to do. There can be no courage unless you are scared. End of quote. Eddie Rickenbacker. Let us speak about Pharaoh Sekenenre Tau, the brave, he who died a violent and honourable death at the hands of the Hyksos hordes, aged between 30 and 40 years young. He died from fatal blows received to the head from several axes, and his face and skull was smashed in beyond recognition. He was honoured as one of the most courageous of men, who put his life on the line and was martyred for his beloved country and people. The inscriptions on his sarcophagus call him the brave. I myself want you to take a minute to honour the brave, Suten Sekenenre Tau, Suten Kamos, and those that died before this liberation was fully realised. May their names be remembered and endure forever. Ashe. The struggle between Thebes and avarice was seen as a struggle for liberation, and it was a long drawn-out conflict initiated by the great Shechem Sekenenre Tau. The diplomatic insults of the Hekakasut, Hyksos, and the atrocities and threat to Theban supremacy had gone too far. The antagonism of the pretender king Apophis, Apepi, had to be met with force. Although Pharaoh Sekenenre Tau knew that it was always going to be an uphill struggle, with all the odds stacked against the courageous Thebans. When the great pretender Apepi insulted the traditions and culture of Kemet by sending the message blaming the bellowing of hippos for his sleepless nights, the people interpreted the message as a challenge to Suten Sekenenre Tau. The great house of Pharaoh then prepared for war by setting up a front line at a location called Der El Balas today. During this tense time, our ancestors were forced to apply a centralized system of rations, with supplies coming from Thebes. Thebes had to be protected at all cost. What is more, Thebes was also under threat from the kingdom of Kerma in the south, so we got Nubians in the south, a part of them called the Kerma kingdom, who were teaming up with these Hyksos, these mulatto Hyksos, and trying to so they trying to attack us from the south, while these Hyksos are trying to attack us from the north, which had gained supremacy over the tribes of Sudan. This Kerma, this C group Nubians, saw the advantage to invade and gain an upper hand in Lower Nubia, northern Sudan, and Upper Kemet, which is southern Egypt. And they were in contact and coalition with the Hyksos north. These man. Yeah, you see him there? Them Hyksos man them. The Ras. Look how it just came on the screen while I was reading that. I weren't even looking at the screen. And then I looked up and my man was on there. Let me just pause his Ras. Thebes was in a dangerous position, being wedged in between Avaris in the north and Kermet in the south. For the survival of Kemet, these were indeed the most dangerous of times. We honor Suten Sekenenre Tau and his brave soldiers because he initiated a battle with the Hyksos that he knew full well he could not possibly win, but he had to begin. He may have lost the battle, but he never lost the war, because it was his spirit and his determination that transferred into his sons and his successor Suten Kamos, the first Moses, Kamosis, the last pharaoh of the 17th dynasty, and the one who stopped the Hyksos advance, Ashe, to Suten Sekenenre Tau, Ashe to the ancestors. Quote, you gain strength, courage, and confidence by every experience in which you really stop to look fear in the face. You are able to say to yourself, I lived through this horror. I can take the next thing that comes along. You must do the thing you cannot do. Eleanor Roosevelt. End of quote. In this way, Pharaoh Sekenenre Tau did not fail. His intention and deeds of bravery inspired a downtrodden nation to stand up against oppression at all cost. He made them realize, quote, oppression is worse than slaughter, end of quote. He raised the self-worth and esteem of all the people to live and die for Kemet, Egypt. To improve your commitment, 1, look at how you spend your time. Are you really committed to do just say? Are you really committed, or do you just say you are? 2, know what is worth living for and who is worth dying for. 3, practice the Edison method. Make your plans public, and then you might be more committed to follow through. Let me put some music on. Don't worry, it's not going to go on too long. I hope you're enjoying it anyway, because this is vital alternative history that you are not going to get in school. You know what I'm saying? You ain't going to get this in school, pal. You can only get this with Jadefre. Let's continue, yeah? Okay. Suten Kamos, I am my father's son, the avenger. The Shechem Shechem, great power of power. Suten Kamos picked up where his father, Suten Sekenenre Tau, left off. He was determined to avenge the death of his father at the hands of the Hyksos. When Suten Sekenenre Tau passed on, the teenage Suten Kamos was forced to become the man, the father of the nation, the heart of the struggle, overnight, being still adolescent himself, 17 years old. Contemporary evidence for the struggle for liberation dates to the equally courageous reign of Suten Kamos, for he reported on his actions in vivid accounts. So he kept a diary of what was happening every day. He definitely inherited his father's courage, for the account begins with Suten Kamos sitting in his council, as earlier reported on page 45, chapter 1. Yeah, page 45, chapter 1, he's got what Kamos actually said. So let me just go on. After listening to the elders in the council, Suten Kamos decided against them and chose to sail north on the Nile with his navy. While his army travelled on land, and soon he reached Avaris. So he travelled with his navy on the Nile, and his army travelled on land to Avaris. Suten Kamos somehow manages to plunder the city, whose inhabitants were paralysed with fear. He also intercepted and caught a messenger from Avaris on the way to the ruler of Kerma in the south, them sellout Nubians. The pretender king of Avaris, Apophis, wanted the king of Kerma to engage Thebes from the south and join forces with him to crush Suten Kamos' campaign. This is the letter intercepted by Suten Kamos. So we've got the letter. This is what the letter says, yeah? Sirrah, son of Ra, Apepi greets my son, the ruler of Kerma. Why have you arisen as ruler without letting me know? Do you see what Egypt has done to me? The ruler which is in her midst, Kamos, the mighty, given life, is pushing me off my own land. I have not attacked him in any way, like all that he has done to you. He has chopped up the two lands to their grief, my land and yours, and he has hacked them up. Come north, do not hold back. See, he is here with me. There is none who is expecting you here in Egypt. See, I will not set him free until you arrive. Then we shall divide the towns of Egypt, and Kenthen Nefer, that's southern Nubia, down to the second cataract, shall be enjoyed. End of quote. So after Pharaoh Kamos had attacked the rebellious kingdom of Kerma in the south, in his third year, the pretender Apepi tried to appeal to Kerma to join forces with him and launch a surprise attack from the south. But intercepting the messenger from Avaris, the plan was thwarted. A substantial garrison was left in Thebes in any event of this happening. Suten Kamos orchestrated a serious blow to Apophis and Avaris, before which the Thebans were seen as a puppet ragtag army by the Hyksos forces. You see why these Ames Nefertari and her sons Kamos and Amos and her husband Second Enretau was so important. They was like Shaka, man. His account ended with a description of the widespread joy and euphoria of Kemet's population and the royal instruction to commemorate all these great events in stone. Carrying on in the spirit of his father, the heroic Suten Second Enretau, Suten Kamos laid the foundation for the eventual expulsion of the Hyksos, or the Jews, from out of Kemet, Egypt, the real Exodus. With Pharaoh Kamos's defeat of these barbarian Indo-Aryans, began the reunification period of the defeat of foreigners, the beginning of the imperial age of the new kingdom. We're not being nice with no foreigners no more, because they just take advantage and come and colonize. So now we've begun the imperial age, yeah? When Kemet's international prestige was taken to its zenith, Tutankhamun, unfortunately, did not live to see the expulsion of the Hyksos for whatever reason that is not clear. But he achieved the impossible, and he remains legendary along with his brother and successor, Amos. Okay, so that Ames Nefertari's husband is Amos, and now we've got to Amos, yeah? I had to give you that though. You know how I am. I have to give you these. I have to give you all of the spill. I can't just give you a piece of it. So now we're gonna read about Amos, yeah? So the mother, Kendake Ahotep, the mother of Amos and Kamos, and we're going to read about Amos and his wife Ames Nefertari, yeah? So let's go. 5. Competence. If you build it, they will come. Quote, competence goes beyond words. It's the leader's ability to say it, plan it, and do it in such a way that others know that you know how and know that they want to follow you. John C. Maxwell. Keys to cultivate high competence. 1. Show up every day and come ready to work. 2. Keep learning, growing and improving. 3. Follow through with excellence. 4. Accomplish more than expected. 5. Inspire and motivate others. Now, as the late great El Hajj Malik Shabazz, better known as Malcolm X, said, I'm still reading from Treasures in the Sun, yeah? Quote, the black woman is the most disrespected, neglected and overlooked being on our planet. As the mother of humanity, she is seldom given the reverence and acknowledgement that is due to her. Our strong and beautiful black women have made the greatest contributions to civilization with spirituality, wisdom and the love and nurturing that they have given to the first great rulers and leaders. They were and are the light shining in the darkness, giving so much of themselves and receiving little or nothing in return. Sometimes, more times than often, they have not even received any acknowledgement. There is no better example to illustrate this than the enduring Kendake's Ahotep, wife of Suten II Enretau and mother of the Sutens Kamos and Amos, and Ames Nefertari, the wife of Suten Amos. After the loss of her husband, Suten II Enretau, to the barbarian groups, the Kendake Ahotep did not lose hope or spirit. She communicated a message of liberation and redemption to herself, and more importantly, to her 2 young sons and her people. She guided and inspired the struggle to continue in the spirit of the martyr Second Enretau, nurtured and motivated all levels of the movement. The resistance could never have realized its full potential and achieved its goals without her commitment and dedication, without her far-sighted vision. She was a wife, a mother, a queen, a leader, a people manager, the heart of Kemet Egypt and the voice and resolve of the people. The Kendake prepared the young Kamos to assume the role of Suten, Aferti or king, premature for the role as he was. When Suten Kamos died unexpectedly, she also had the young 9-year-old Amos in a good position, his younger brother, to overstand what would be expected of him in the shadow of his legendary father and brother. During these transitions of power, she would have had to act as co-regent and assist these 2 young rulers with sound advice, trust to make the right decisions, constructive criticisms and encouragement constantly. They and the kingdom could not have had a better role model and guide than Mother Ahotep, for she was bred from the noblest of Kushite lineage and assumed her responsibility in the most impeccable and admirable manner. I cannot find more words to praise her enough. There are not enough words in the vocabulary of the English language to do this, or in any other language for that matter, or maybe even the most eloquent of languages. It is goddesses like these, like Ahotep and Ames Nefertari and Queen Sobek Neferu, Queen T, Queen Nzinga, Queen Asheba Makeda, and others such as the legendary Candice queens of Merowe, the Kentakas, that are the foundation of the greatness of our people. This strength of character they have inherited from the mother goddesses themselves. End of quote. End of Treasures in the Sun, guys. Let's go. So you see these dudes here, Ashtar command. These are the enemy. These are who we got to be watching now, and that's why it's so important for us to power up, yeah, and get into our God self, because we are going into Ragnarok, or if you want to call it Armageddon, I call it Ragnarok, the twilight of the gods, when the gods are gonna have a fucking great war, and humans, mankind, are gonna be right bang in the middle of this great war. That's how the Norse speak about this shit. That's how I speak about it when I say Ragnarok. You understand what I'm saying? And everybody's at jeopardy. Gods are gonna die and humans are gonna die. It's peak for everyone. Yeah. So go and study the story of the gods from everybody's perspective. Don't just stick in one. Go and study Greek mythology. Go and study North mythology. Go and study Hindu mythology. Go and study Olmec and Mayan and Aztec mythology. That's the only way you're going to be able to do what I do. If you wonder, how the hell does he know so much? Nigga, I studied everything from I was about fucking 15 years old, man. And I still do. So these Ashtar command are the enemy. They portray themselves as good guys, yeah, Pleiadians, Nordics, tall whites, yeah, the tall white Nordic looking aliens, yeah, calling themselves Ashtar command. And Ashtar is the same as Ishtar, yeah, it's the same thing. You understand? They batting for the same team here. You see this? And this is how these niggas look. This is how they fucking look, and they are serious. They're about 7 foot tall, these bastards. And we've spoke about them a couple times, how they're not that fertile and that. These niggas, along with the reptilians who created them, because they're really from the Aldebaran star, they are running your fucking governments. They're the ones right at the top running the government, the custodians, the Prometheus niggas. You understand what I'm saying?
And I was so long
Yeah, guys. So you know the alchemy on our side, the mind over matter science. I got that written down for you guys in Treasures in the Sun as well, man. I might as well be promoting Treasures in the Sun in this bloody thing here, yeah. But yo, the alchemy. This is from page 129, yeah. The legacy, chapter 3, the legacy. The alchemical overstanding of our people went into the four elements of earth and also the three elements of heaven, which are 1. Earth, 2. Water, 3. Wind, 4. Fire, 5. Sulfur, 6. Mercury, 7. Salt. These are the elements of alchemy, its tools of engagement, whether on an outer level within the world, laboratory, or on the inner, individual, self level. The law of correspondence states, as above, so below. The wisdom of Tahuti, Thoth, emphasized the existence of a supreme force, referred to as the eternal Nun, which can be called the one thing, which has no perceptible form, and out of which all matter manifested, densified, and formed, creating the physical world. It has no perceptible form until it is grounded or expressed in material reality. Some may call it, quote unquote, waveform energy. The expression of its form is guided by the one mind of Amun-Ra / Anu, who operates within Ba-Kulum, the All. This is the one mind of the Supreme Being and is the process responsible for the creation / generation of the universes. The ancestors saw the one thing as the primordial waters, plasma energy that takes the form of the idea or thought projected by the one mind, Amun-Ra. The unseen forces, Paut Neteru, the company of the Neta forces, can be contacted and controlled by the worthy through divine union, emerging with the one mind through meditation and prayer. Lasting union can only be achieved by an inside-out transfiguration of mind, body and soul until the terrestrial man is so transformed, refined and purified that she becomes a vessel for the force of Pasafun Wahud, the sacred one, aka a god, Gibor, mighty one of renown. Yeah, this is from a book that is 180 or something years old. It's from Empress Lotus, shout out to her. Part 1. Primitive Christians, the Essenes, fully realized and taught the great truth that Christ was a substance, an oil or ointment contained especially in the spinal cord, consequently in all parts of the body, as every nerve in the body is directly or indirectly connected with the wonderful river that flows out of Eden, the upper brain, to water the garden. The early Christians knew that the scriptures, whether written in ancient Hebrew or the Greek, were allegories, parables or fables based on the human body, fearfully and wonderfully made. Time and health are two precious assets that we don't recognize or appreciate until they have been depleted. And look, a reminder from that fantastic slide presentation that we did, yeah? The true history of the British royal family, yeah? And the black nobility of Europe. Do you guys remember that, yeah? So, I just wanted to show a few more pictures because I had this, but it was a bit blurry. Couldn't see it properly, but this is the Holy Roman Emperor, Emperor Leopold the First of the House of Habsburg, and he was the emperor, yeah, in like fucking the 1600s. So have a look at some of these guys, yeah. So look at this, yeah. Mirian III was a king of Karti, modern Georgia, a contemporary to the Roman Emperor Constantine I, 306 to 337, the same one that did the Council of Nicaea. Kartli was the successor state of the ancient kingdom of Colchis. Remember what we said about Colchis and Pharaoh Senwaset leaving a part of his army? I'll read that again. Kartli was the successor state of the ancient kingdom of Colchis, made famous by Herodotus' description of its people. They are black-skinned and have woolly hair. That's what Herodotus said. And the ancient kingdom of Eastern Iberia. So when you're talking about Spain and that, yeah. 17th century mural from the Svetitskovili Cathedral in Georgia, Russia. According to the early medieval Georgian annals and hagiography, Mirian was the first Christian king of Iberia, yeah, converted through the ministry of Nino, a Cappadocian female, yeah, so a black Turkish female missionary. He is credited with establishment of Christianity as his kingdom's state religion and is regarded by the Georgian Orthodox Church as a saint, yeah. So watch this. This is him now, yeah, who we was just reading about. Wow. Come on. Like, share, subscribe, comment. Get in your center. Yeah? Become the pilot of your own avatar. Yeah? Your government is lying to you. Make your way to your nearest conspiracy realist. Right, let's see what's going on with Salahadin, yeah? Saladin holding Guy of Lusignan captive after the Battle of Hattin. So that's Guy of Lusignan, yeah, the black guy. And that's Saladin, the great Salahadin, yeah? By Dutch painter Jan Levens, 1607 to 1674. Guy of Lusignan, 1150 to 1194, was a Poitevin knight, Western France, son of Hugh VIII of the Lusignan dynasty. He was king of the Crusader state of Jerusalem from 1186 to 1192 by the right of marriage to Sibylla of Jerusalem and of Cyprus from 1192 to 1194. Having arrived in the Holy Land, where his brother Amalric was already prominent, at an unknown date, Guy was hastily married to Sibylla in 1180 to prevent a political incident within the kingdom. As Baldwin's health deteriorated, Guy was appointed regent of Jerusalem. At Sibylla's succession to the throne in 1186, she gave the crown to Guy as her king consort. Guy's reign was marked by increased hostilities with the Ayyubids, ruled by Saladin. So he was fighting with Saladin and them, culminating in the disastrous Battle of Hattin in July 1187, during which Guy was captured, and the fall of Jerusalem itself 3 months later. You see how all of this stuff is about us, man. We're the old ancient ones who was fucking in control of all of these spots, man. Following a year of imprisonment in Damascus, Syria, Guy was released to Salahadin. Fucking hell, that. Guys, I'm giving y'all niggas the jewels still. Harrods, y'all gonna have to start calling me Harrods for real, you know. Say, oh shit, it's Mr. Harrods. Yo, what go on, Mr. Harrods? You know what I'm saying? returned to its original sender with power, peace, and forgiveness. I ask that this is complete and sealed now. So it is. Amen. Yeah, guys, so look, as I was saying, this, like that lady said, ain't nobody win this shit here with this Meg Thee Stallion shit. This shit here is some, I feel sorry for that brother there if he's really gonna do 22 years on some bullshit like that. I ain't even gonna dwell on this thing too much here, but yo, because I didn't even want to dwell on these things, but yo, it's clear they just set that brother up, man, and there's something in that brother, that some kind of light that they don't want, man. They fuck niggas up like that. That's what I'm trying to say. It's not everyone that just buys into this shit. Some people like, nah, fuck that, and try and do their own thing, and this is what happens. So yo, it's not about going into the industry. This Ragnarok shit for real, the Clash of the Gods, man. I will never sign a record deal to any record label. I don't give a shit. I would just be normal, like a nobody. Yeah, he does music, but he don't go in it. I don't care. I don't want to be in the industry. You understand what I'm saying? I'm fighting out here because this industry is gonna fall, and the people in it, these muppets, are gonna be the first ones that fall. People don't understand that shit. That shit for real. Yo, guys, I'm gonna read now from my other book, What Side of History, to end this because I'm just about done. We're just over an hour and I'm just about done. So now I'm gonna read you from this next weapon, which is What Side of History. And I've opened it and it sits right on a page that is relevant to what we're talking about. So I'm just gonna read, yeah, from the page that I'm on, yeah. Okay. Page 116, yeah? Master are ye of your destiny, free to take or reject at will. Take ye the power, take ye the wisdom, shine as a light among the children of men. Jehuti, the Emerald Tablets. Yeah. Page 117. Yahweh slash God slash Allah makes a woman for Adam and places her and him in a garden out of nowhere. A talking serpent appears and beguiles the woman, Eve, who influences Adam. According to Genesis 3:1, this is the slickest of creatures, and what's worse, this serpent is supposed to have been created by this all-loving Yahweh slash God slash Allah. God finds out about the disobedience of Adam and Eve and punishes not only them, but every person born from their seed, meaning all humans forever. So Adam and Eve were set up right in your scriptures. They had no idea that what they were doing was wrong because they didn't even understand what wrong was, because they had no knowledge of the idea of good and evil until they ate from the tree. Again, they were like toddlers who don't understand consequences, not to mention God's most subtle creature, the serpent, Alpha Draconians in brackets, called Lucifer slash Shaitan in the scriptures. This talking serpent acted like a mischievous sibling that tricked and influenced the ignorance and therefore actions of Eve. This subtle serpent influenced them to disobey their parents, Elohim. Do you now realize how stupid this fairy tale story sounds? Be honest and stop making excuses. We are supposed to accept that this all-knowing God didn't know that Adam and Eve were going to fall at the first hurdle and disobey sin. Really? Didn't God know beforehand that this slick-talking serpent would beguile them and get them to slip up? Ask the rabbi, pastor, imam, how did this serpent even get into the garden, close enough to speak comfortably with Eve? It doesn't make sense to a critical thinker. What's the point of putting Adam and Eve through this, knowing the outcome, and then punishing them for what you already knew? Would you do that to your loved ones? Would you put them into a situation knowing that they would fail and then severely punish them for it? Would you put your toddler in a position to be hurt? Would you let them play in front of the fireplace knowing the fire is hot? No, because you know that they don't know any better, right? Well, Adam and Eve didn't know any better. They didn't know that eating from the tree and disobeying God was evil, because they were uninformed by this God. God knew all of this. Why punish them and everyone after them? Your scriptures, as you translate them, make no sense, and this leaves room for all of the severe sectism. You believe, in quotes, your religion is so right and everyone is so wrong, when the fact is that you are all confused alike in those organized religions. The Yahweh slash God slash Allah that you have been taught to worship isn't who you thought he was. Only a sick parent would ask their children to do something that they knew they were set up to fail, and then severely punish them for it. I am trying my best to make you realize that this is not an all-loving God like they told you. I am sure that you love your children with all of your heart, as I do. You would do anything to protect your children and keep them from harm. If you ask the average Jew, Christian or Muslim if Yahweh, God, Allah, loves us, they are going to say yes. Then why doesn't God lovingly protect Adam and Eve as we would do our children? Why does he watch them get hurt? Why doesn't Yahweh slash God slash Allah do everything in his power to prevent them from harming themselves? Do you get the point? Well, the point is, if you are a loving parent, you would do everything that you could to keep your child away from any harm. This is why parents who have the ability move their children to better schools or neighborhoods to give them a better chance and get them away from harm and etc. This is why parents tell you not to hang around certain people or bring a certain friend back to the house. Nobody truly wants to see their children come to any harm, or any child for that matter. No good parent would ever allow anything of that nature to happen to their children as far as they could help. But this is what we are taught about Yahweh slash God slash Allah. Hold on, I ain't finished with you niggas. I ain't finished with you niggas. We are taught that God loves us. We are taught that his love is greater than any love known to humans. Hold on. It's a bit loud. We are taught that God loves us. We are taught that his love is greater than any love known to humans. But yet Yahweh slash God slash Allah watches masses of his children get stabbed, robbed, shot, hung, raped, murdered, tortured, and all kinds of horrible things. According to what Christians teach about God being our Heavenly Father, he would have to be one of the most worthless and irresponsible parents of all time. Like the crackhead who let her kids run out into the streets unattended. If you were to treat your children like God does in the scriptures, social services would take those children off you and you would most likely be locked up in prison or sectioned under the Mental Health Act. God is on some kind of power trip throughout the scriptures. I'm speaking about the gods portrayed in these Abrahamic texts. Hold on. And yeah, you see Cardi B doing that shit as well. You know what I'm saying? She getting paid out here. You know what I'm saying? Cardi B was paid $1 million to perform a 35-minute set at a private event for bankers. Wow. See what I'm saying? Niggas is paying money to see them titties. I wasn't lying. Yeah, hold on. All of the atrocities that have taken place are taking place and will take place are witnessed by Yahweh slash God slash Allah. Whenever religious people witness a miracle, they claim that Yahweh slash God slash Allah intervened. But they don't consider the countless times God does nothing but spectate and blame others for his apathy and punishes people for things he is to blame for. Religious people are under a spell of sleep, of spiritual and racial blindness. We have been programmed to turn a blind eye to all of this. This is the tunnel vision created by these mind traps you are calling religion. The gods you have been given by these scriptures are evil and malicious beings who manipulate humans. They are none other than the Alpha Draconians themselves in disguise. Only evil and malicious beings would allow evil and malicious acts to be committed in their presence and not intervene. Only an evil God would allow that under his watch. This is not my God. Now ask yourselves again, is this your Yahweh slash God slash Allah? Does this God love you? Take into consideration that this Yahweh slash God slash Allah already knows what evil was and is. God is not entirely good. God is just as much evil as he is good, according to your scriptures. When the serpent told Eve in eating from the tree of the knowledge of good and bad, they would become like gods, he wasn't lying. He was implying that these gods, Elohims, are both agreeable and disagreeable, or good and evil. The Old Testament, Genesis 3:22. And the Lord God said, behold, the man is become as one of us, to know good and evil. Now, lest he put forth his hand, and take also of the tree of life, and eat and live forever. William Shakespeare, 1611 AD, King James Version. Now, this is the real version. El's Holy Torah, Barashith, the Reconstruction, 3:22-23. Yahuwah of the Elohim said to the Elohim Anunnaki, Seraphim, and Cherubims, look at the Adam. He has become just like Echad, one of us. He Yauda, knows will, having the ability to make decisions between that which is Tobi, agreeable, and Raha, disagreeable, using his 4 higher senses, psychometry, clairvoyance, intuition, telepathy. He is free to think for himself without the commands of the Elohim. And now at this point we must be aware, or he will take and eat also of the tree of divine life, read the scroll of all, and live forever. So let's remove his Barafari gland and maim him, and his seed after him, with the spell of Kingu, Leviathan. 23. So because of this disobedience in the enclosed garden, Yahuwah of the Elohim sent Adam and Hawa out of the east side of the enclosed garden of delight under a spell of Kingu, as a slave to the ground from where your body was taken without Barafari glands. The spell was cast by Anzu or Zuen for Nudimud or Enki, head of a group of Luciferians, reptilians. Right translation from Aramaic, ancient Hebrew by Noble Reverend Dr. Malachi Z. York, 33 to 720 degrees. So if God was the one who originally turned on the light, let there be light, then he had to have been dwelling in darkness. And this means that the original intellect comes from darkness and not from light. This dispels the myth of white is right or white is good and darkness is evil. The opposite of light is not darkness, but shadow. Shadow is the opposite of light. For darkness simply is. It is the black print, and therefore has no true opposite. It is time to show the Caucasian and Arab world that we have our own intellectual authority and identity to redefine our own culture and truth as sovereign beings. We will do this from our own definitions, not theirs. I will stand up for my ancestors, reclaim and uphold their stolen legacy. Another point here is that Adam and Eve could have eaten from the tree of life and read the scroll of all and gained eternal life, but we wasn't even knowledgeable of the importance of such a decision, or what that would have done for us. Now, by 40 years old, the body is past prime and gone into decline. All of the monotheistic religions lost the facts and dumbed down the teachings, and were only left with unconfirmed dogmas and bits and pieces from a lost wisdom. Last piece, yeah? Whichever one of these ridiculous doctrines that you follow today, it will guaranteed have a place of eternal damnation by fire for your transgressions. Most people call this place hell. Most impressionable religious people have never really scrutinized the religious fear-mongering of hell. Muslims have 7 different words for hell and only 1 word for heaven. Do not believe this. Go research that for yourselves. At some point, the disagreeable Elohim on the earth replaced the love taught by Dingir, the righteous ones of the rocket ships, through Ma'at, with the Draco's fear-based doctrines of contemporary religions of today. The prototype of religion was created by Tammuz and Enki, yeah, and Tar and Marduk, yeah, 6,000 years ago in ancient Sumer, Tar Necha, called Abishinar, the flatlands, in Genesis 10:10, and I quote, and ask yourself, if you leave your flesh and blood body behind after you die, then how do you feel the pain of being burned in hell? Since souls are spiritual and not physical matter, flesh, blood, bones, nerves, how can one be tortured by being burned in the fires of hell without flesh and without a nervous system to feel pain? Have you ever asked yourself this? Most people have not, and that's why they can still blindly follow these unconfirmed myths. Those that have came across the reasoning have either brushed it off or invalidated it based on biased views and denial. In any case, this critical question exposes the limited thinking of the authors of these books. Hold on. Within the pages of their documents, which they call, this is just another quote from a different part of the book I was supposed to give you, then I'm done, yeah? Within the pages of their documents, which they call Holy Scriptures, God was born. Man created God. God did not create man. At least not the gods that their scriptures has given you. This God that we read about, whether Torah, Bible or Quran, doesn't equal the God that we are told about. Look at it this way. Genesis chapter 1 is talking about a plural group of beings. If you go back to the Sumerian tablets, the lost book of Enki, you discover that the Anunnaki Elohim descended to the earth in groups of 50. Enki descended with the first group of 50 splashing down in the Persian Gulf. This group established the outpost named Eridu, headquarters of Enki, also spell Enki with a K. This is why it says, let us, and in our, in Genesis 1:26, yeah? So I'm saying, man created God. God did not create man, at least not the gods that their scriptures has given you, yeah? The God is the God inside of you in Genesis 2:7, where where the Most High breathed his own spirit into us and we became a living soul, yeah? With that being said, I hope you enjoyed this one, guys, and I'm about to leave y'all niggas, yeah? So let me choose something to leave you guys on, and we're gone. Yeah, we are gone. I know what to leave you on. I know what to leave you on. I know what to leave you on.
All the smoke, you don't really wanna walk in the type of warfare around the city gang stalking. I'ma keep it for a while, niggas keep on talking. You don't want no problems, better watch it how you walking. I gon' all the smoke, you don't really wanna walk in the type of warfare around the city gang stalking. I'ma keep it for a while, niggas keep on talking. You don't want no problems, better watch it how you walking. No problem, no problems. You don't want no problems, better watch it how you walking.
That's the Henny 2. Nationwide. Too nasty for
You don't want no problems, better watch it how you walking. Cause I'm about to go psycho. Niggas had their timing off, now watch it fam, it's my go. And everything is pushed, tell me can you smell that? If you ever heard the weed talk, we call it loud pack. I make my own rules, make my own boundaries. Calling niggas petrol, like when it was chowdhury. Bouncing on their knees, most these rappers they just actors. Fuck 12 disciples training 24 masters. I want all the smoke, you don't really want the water. The type of warfare around the city gang stalking. I'ma keep it for a while, niggas keep on talking. You don't want no problems, better watch it how you walking. I want all the smoke, you don't really want the water. The type of warfare around the city gang stalking. I'ma keep it for a while, you niggas keep on talking. You don't want no problems, better watch it how you walking. Tell my adversaries I don't give a shit. Standing on the square, aiming higher than the pyramid. And I know you probably sick of us. Wings flying close up to the sun, call me Icarus. When I gave in peace, I was giving out salams. Found you niggas hypocrites, so I took a fucking arms. I got 3 rich bitches like I'm starving in charm. That's my weed by the trees like I live up on the farm. All it takes is one phone call. Trust me, I'ma handle it. I can see the hate because you know that I'm a maverick. It's the tail of the dragons like a war manuscript. 12 drive, you speaking in code time. I want all the smoke. You don't really want the water. The type of warfare around the city gang stalking. I'ma keep it for a while. Niggas keep on talking. You don't want no problems, better watch it how you walking. I want all the smoke. You don't really want the water. The type of warfare around the city gang stalking. I'ma keep it for a while. Niggas keep on talking. You don't want no problems, better watch it how you walking. No problems. No problems. Are you serious? No problems. Man, I've been running you down for the last 2 weeks. I don't like chasing money though. It's like you don't want no problems, better watch it how you walking. Number, I text and told her, tell my man to make sure he has my change. I'm not playing no more games, no more. You problems, you don't want no problems, better watch it how you walking.
Hey yo, I swear these fools are coochie. I'm from the new school too, but I never call it blue babe. I bet you couldn't even shoot straight. I'm in the booth late, trying to catch a fade with these loops made. LA to the UK, couple times while I was out there, man, that gas had me too bait. I saw the slums for the girl, I got a new hate. Real hustle, stack it up, looking for a new date. I can't really trust what the news saying. I still kinda think it was Bush that took them towers out with 2 planes. A lot of coincidences are too strange. Another standard traffic stop, that's another random dude spray. I feel a lot of y'all are too paid. They think they're cool, but it's fake for the image, like a toupee. But they don't stop until it's too late. And the real G's pulling up like, fuck who do you claim?
No problems. Are you serious? No problems. Man, I've been running you down for the last 2 weeks. I don't like chasing money though. It's like you don't want no problems, better watch it how you walking. Number, I text and told her, tell my man to make sure he has my change. I'm not playing no more games, no more. You problems, you don't want no problems, better watch it how you walking. Yo, all my enemies is finished. Niggas getting old. I'm in the fountain of youth, which is the booth. Drink it up, yeah, smoke it up. Because yo, I'm celebrating 4-year hep set victory. Yo, too nasty. Drink it up, it's my victory scar. All my enemies is dead and buried, dream with scar. It's King Ragnar with a supermodel dog. And we gon' smoke weed by the trees and swallow scar. Jug full of Heineken, sitting on my table. Them niggas tried to keep up with me, but they wasn't able. Man, the way I'm dropping bangers make these rappers look disabled. I heard them say they gonna run up on me, that be fatal. Bring a body bag and some fucking shovels. I'ma make you dig your own grave. You niggas, you in trouble. You live in fantasy and I'm a push your bubble. I'm cornering the market, fam. This shit is my hustle. It's the new rap mecca, find my whole new genre. Dragon Slayer infamous, they say we call that drama. I'm ready for the muscle, even when my niggas was mager. They tried to lock me down, but now I'm back to finish my saga. Drink it up, it's my victory scar. All my enemies is dead and buried, drink with scar. It's King Ragnar with a supermodel dog. And we can smoke weed by the trees and swallow scar. Drink it up, it's my victory scar. All my enemies is dead and buried, drink with scar. It's King Ragnar with a supermodel dog. And we gon' smoke weed by the trees and swallow scar. Bloody murder, tell these devils I ain't playing. I manifest the God to get on with this dragon slaying. Find these man are mumble rappers, don't know what the fuck they saying. I fall upon the devil, let me find out where we staying. Got my adversaries like they crawled up on the rocks. You never see them niggas face no more around the block, cause they scared. Bump into them, you can see they heart stop. They pupils dilating cause they asses in shock. And I'm a pro, non-stop until you niggas sick and tired. Like Mayweather, I ain't even done when I'm retired. If the money right, I might come again for round 2. And I don't give a flying fuck about whoever rolling with you. You bullshit crew, your man's a gas like you want nitrogen. Got me a couple of soldiers from the IRA in Ireland. I ain't Cape Town, but now they calling me the fireman. Squeeze this shit up out these motherfuckers like a pipe. Drink it up, it's my victory scar. All my enemies is dead and buried, drink with this scar. It's King Ragnar with a supermodel dog. And we can smoke weed by the trees and swallow scar. Drink it up, it's my victory scar. All my enemies is dead and buried, drink with this scar. It's King Ragnar with a supermodel dog. And we can smoke weed by the trees and swallow scar. Drink it up, drink it up, drink it up, drink it up, drink it up.
It appears my return is not welcome. You've obviously all made your mind up about me. I cannot blame you for that, man. So, well, boys, who's gonna do it then? Who's gonna kill? I don't mind. Go ahead. Please. What about you, Victor? You think you're a man now?
I swear I've seen man hiding on the rocks. And
For real, man. Yo,
too nasty out here.
Yo.
Man are hiding.
nasty.
Come out your cupboard, fam.
Ragnar, Memnon, nasty. Polarity trap. Yes, I fell. I know that you scared. Niggas is cowards. See, we some older gods. We creatures of the night. Of the hours. Put devils in the grave. I know that you scared. Niggas is cowards. See, we some older gods. We creatures of the night. Of the hours. Put devils in the grave. I swear to God, it's killing season. Burying these rappers, I don't even need a reason. You switching sides from his treason. I ain't trying to hear it, so they calling me a heathen. Since my childhood, I've been gifted. Seeing through religion, how the truth they got it twisted. Teenage trauma, now I'm addicted. Skipping class, me and couple friends be getting lifted. See, I'm the chosen one. I chose myself. I dropped out of school, entered into college itself. I never came late once, like most of you suckers, but others failed. I graduated with flying colors. See the gods, they prepare me, but you wasn't built for this. Words, I'm unlocking the facts. Rap linguists, if you my enemies with the force of raw, the force of the soul, me and them ain't even apart. I know that you scared. Niggas is cowards. See, we some older gods. We creatures of the night. Of the hours. Put devils in the grave. I know that you scared. Niggas is cowards. See, we some older gods. We creatures of the night. But only hours, the devil's in the grave. They come in with their flowers.
Listen. All I see is clowns to the ceiling. Fuck your feelings. I'm in this bitch spitting like a super villain. Experimentally, these dudes are timid. That's why they sticking auto-tune on any lyric. It's a thing of singing. Authentic hip-hop is the future vision. It's a mission. They promoting stupid music to confuse the children. Fuck with me, you gotta prove you skilled. It's a long list of dope rappers wanting me to do their mixing. I'm in the booth and I got rude intentions. Start the floor with mud covered boots and moving through these fucking trenches. The ammunition in my pen extensive. So tremendous when I blow up on tracks like a big inspector. Don't think I'm sacred, you can check my record. And even if you hate me because I'm white, you're gonna respect my technique. And if I touch your track, then it's a blessing. With my hands on it, bring it to life, like it's resurrected.
I know that you're scared, because it's cowards. See, we some older gods. We creatures of the night, the only hours. The devil's in the grave with their flowers. I know that you're scared, because it's cowards. See, we some older gods. We got superpowers. We creatures of the night, the only hours. The devil's in the grave. They come in with their flowers. I swear to God, there's no mercy. Fuck a rapper up, I swear we gonna need surgery. I spit facts, teach niggas like a nursery. Half these niggas fully fake, man, these devils hurt me. From you, man, ain't worthy. Lifestyle actors. From they wearing masks, I'm the same off for the cameras. Rock Khalid, Muhammad, Dragon Slayer, Black Panthers. Lost children of Babylon looking for answers. It's alright, man. All of us are warriors, innit? Cowards, man. No, stay home. It's okay. But you road, man. That's like home hiding under your fucking table. You understand? I expected better. Yeah? I know a lot of you fucking hiding under the table, hiding under the box. Yeah? It's a revolution out here. The revolution is now. And none of y'all know where to be seen. What's going on? It's all about it. Y'all scared. Yo, crook in the flame. Some are shepherds and some are sheep. It's just how it is, man. Don't be a sheep, man. Don't be a conformer. It's that real. I'ma do my own thing. I ain't following the masses, cause the M is silent. So the majority are asses. And niggas can't see like they needin' a pair of glasses. And sheeple getting dumber and dumber as time passes. I'ma do my own thing. I ain't following the masses, cause the M is silent. So the majority are asses. And niggas can't see like they needin' a pair of glasses. And sheeple getting dumber and dumber as time passes. How do I tell them what's to come? What's around the corner? Illuminati locking down the world, it's out of order. They stopping cars and they locking down city borders, but I'ma sweat it out like I'm sitting in a sauna. It's hard out here, clear to see. We're building up our own shit. That's the way it need to be, because the government it left us for dead. You feel me? I done judged the motherfuckers already. They're guilty. They don't give a fuck about us. Never have, never will. Institutionally racist. They don't hire for the skills. Single mother struggling, just keep paying the bills. Child poverty is being sent. My views and feels. A man attacked through their teeth like they're working for more. The youth doing what they gotta do and end up in court. Vicious system designed to keep us all in the net. They're making money off of suffering with not a regret. Private prisons and shareholders with their checks. It's business to keep them full. What the fuck you expect? Ain't no rehabilitation, let's just get that correct. So many IPPs, the shit got me upset. So take your time, young man, don't let it go to your skull. And with the same breath, I tell you, live your life to the full. It's always an adventure, life is never dull. In the mood for some ass and titties out on the pool. I'ma do my own thing. I ain't following the masses, cause the M is silent. So the majority are asses. And niggas can't see like they needin' a pair of glasses. And sheeple getting dumber and dumber as time passes. I'ma do my own thing. I ain't following the masses, cause the M is silent. So the majority are asses. And niggas can't see like they needin' a pair of glasses. And sheeple getting dumber and dumber as time passes. I don't even watch the news anymore. What's the point? High priest in the temple, I'm the one to anoint. Hip hop scribes and pharaohs, sages and priests, the kingdom no more mercy, yo, we prepping up for the peace. And we celebrate like the old days with a feast. And after Armageddon, we gon' have 1,000 years of peace. Bind Satan and throw him in the bottomless pit. Strap a bomb on the devil, make sure the wick is lit. In the league of my own, sitting on the iron throne, the faceless man. Protect me, alias is a no. Anonymous, off the radar, stealth technology. Fam, this ain't no theory, hands on like it's pottery. I keep the holy ways, Europeans make a mockery. Memnon, fam, this world bothers me. Who the king of UK rap? I show him properly. Pulling off the
Low battery.
I'ma do my own thing. I ain't following the masses, cause the M is silent. So the majority are asses. And niggas can't see like they needing a pair of glasses. And sheeple getting dumber and dumber as time passes. I'ma do my own thing. I ain't following the masses, cause the M is silent. So the majority are asses. And niggas can't see like they needing a pair of glasses. And sheeple getting dumber and dumber as time passes.
Yeah, guys, that was lovely. That was lovely, yeah. So, step into your God self. We need you for this war. You are needed. Look, this is what I meant to show you yesterday. And for the life of me, I don't know why, yeah, I just couldn't show you. You just wouldn't let me show you, man. And so, like, I was like, yo, what's going on with this shit here? How come I can't show no one? You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I wanted to show this. Remember them towers we was talking about? That federal group. Look, these are real depictions of these shits, man. Look at these buildings. Yo, I've been searching my whole computer, like, where's them photos of them things? And there's the plan for it. You see what I'm saying? So that's some deep ass shit right there, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? That ain't right. Yeah, I just wanted to show you guys that anyway, for all of the Tartarian digging we've been doing. Look at them institutions. Look at the one on the right. Look how high up the thing goes. Like, try and size up how small a human is. Look to the ground. Say, how small would I be on that ground? Like, how high? Remember that one? I can't remember what build it was. We did so many builds. Yeah, we smashed it. Like, there was one with that obelisk going right through the clouds. That shit there looks like something out of his Dark Materials or Dark Tower, one of them Lord of the Rings shit. And then look at it on the close-up on the left there. That's crazy, man. Ain't nobody talking about this shit like us, guys. I'm telling you, man, we did a great fucking job out here. Yeah? We did a great job out here. I'm proud of all of you, man. I'm proud of all of you. Jedefre Memnon is not just Sanchez who you see on the screen, yeah. Sanchez is the avatar, yeah. And I'm here to connect all of you on some Professor X shit. We are the superheroes. We are the gods we've been waiting for. We are the fucking peace treaty in all these worlds. Everything is pivoted on us. We need to stop fucking around and get with it. Niggas need to holler at me. Sisters need to holler at me. We need to do this shit for real, man. Because, yo, we ain't even got no time to play no more. We going into this fucking purge. 7 years of tribulation. And we still out here on the first hurdle. Can't even get on with each other and stuff. Can't even be in relationships and love each other or nothing. On this kind of like fucking, yo, hot and cold kind of interactions with each other. Nigga, the wicked don't rest, man. To be a dragon slayer, you have to kill that dragon inside yourself. That means to master your own self, master your own kundalini. It's not going to happen overnight. I'm talking about make that fucking commitment openly. Niggas need to reach me like how I'm trying to reach you guys, man. Because this shit is dread out here. You understand what I'm saying? And I love all of you niggas. But y'all niggas need to overstand, man. The fuck is going on? You understand? We love you all. That's the end of the transmission. Hotep.